What's going on, everybody? Apologies for the delay tonight. Things are kind of crazy, and StreamYards is being StreamYards. You see the thumbnail. We're going to do some trivia tonight. It's going to be some fun. See who comes out on top. It's looking like, and I say looking like, so let's not jump to conclusions just yet. But it's looking like if you want to see a Halloween movie in theaters this year, that you may, in fact, get that opportunity. And right now, it's looking a lot like Halloween H20 may, in fact, be returning to theaters. And that leads me to my panel for tonight. Mr. Matt Whitfield, what's going on, dude? And will you be seeing Halloween H20 on the big screen if it's coming back?
Good evening, sir. I might. I mean, depends how long it's in the theater. I'm not gonna go rush that weekend to go see it. It was okay in my opinion. Not one of the best in the franchise, and I'm probably not a very popular opinion with that. But I would still go see it in the theater. Probably, maybe.
Also joining us this evening, it's Mr. Tommi B, who was, before we went on air, cracking jokes at the whole idea of this thing going back to theaters. So should I assume you're not lining up to see Halloween H20 opening night in 2023?
Yeah, buddy. So we've talked about it in the past. I like this movie, but I also own this movie. And I don't have a crew to go and see the thing and have a big, fun, great time in person, right? So I don't see a reason for me to run out and go see it in theaters.
Ryan, I don't even know if you have seen Halloween H20, but if you haven't, would you consider going to see a Michael Myers Halloween movie that was released 25 years ago?
So, first, I really do like Halloween. I do like Michael Myers. Of the horror genre, he's my favorite character. However, I have never seen a single Halloween movie in theaters, and I will not be starting with this one. So, I haven't seen H20. I would see H20, but I'm not going to spend my hard-earned money to go see it in a theater.
So, Matt, we'll start with you, man. Good idea or bad idea? Re-releasing Halloween H20 in theaters?
I think it's harmless. I really think it's harmless at the point. It's awesome. It was 25 years ago, and I think it was critically favorable amongst the critics and everything of this movie and Jamie coming back and all that good stuff. But I don't think it's a bad idea. Maybe they're trying to make up a little bit of money on how bad Halloween Kills was. I'm assuming Universal would probably be the one.
Did you say Halloween Kills? I think you said Kills there.
I'm sorry, Ends. Oh, I'm sorry. Oof. Forgive me, Lord, for that.
Ends was still a successful financial venture for them, any way you cut it.
Yeah,
I deal in facts, man. And as much as I don't like,
I know. But man, they're probably just trying to make a little bit of dough. Yeah. And I mean, this is 25th anniversary. Why not?
Yeah. By the way, anybody who is participating in the chat tonight, we have some trivia coming up later tonight. There's some Halloween questions, some other horror movie questions, some wrestling questions. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll see how that turns out. It's a bit of a mixed bag. Dean, our main man, Mean Dean, says in the chat, Scream did well on its 25th anniversary theater re-release. Being H20 is very much like a Scream movie, I predict a similar result. I don't know if this is confirmed, but I believe Dean said to me earlier today that there is a steelbook for Halloween H20 releasing for 25 years as well. So, look, I'm not the biggest Halloween H20 fan. I think the entire movie should be rescored. I cannot stand the score of the movie. It completely takes me out of it. I can't stand the intentional fucking around they do with the mask in the movie. That takes me out of it. And no, I don't want AI to go fix it. I've seen that one out there. But I've never seen this movie in theaters. And I don't hate the movie. I think there's a really good Halloween movie in there. I just think some of the execution wasn't done the best, basically. And yeah, for me, I would go see this opening night in theaters because I've never seen it on the big screen. I'd like to experience it. You know,
I think I'm about the only one old enough to have gone and seen in the theaters.
you are quite old.
No, thanks.
Anybody who wants to participate in tonight's discussion, feel free to talk in the chat. We'll probably be going for about an hour tonight, and then we'll get to Star Wars. But Star Wars will be a different recording that'll come out on our Legacy of Star Wars channel. I don't know if Tommy will even be a part of that at this point because of how late it'll be. But let's continue on here. Tommy mentioned, he already owns the movie, which is fine and all. I don't think re-releasing Halloween H20 is the same as re-releasing Rob Zombie's Halloween or re-releasing Halloween 5 or 6 or Resurrection or even re-releasing 2018. I don't. I think Halloween 1 has this, aura about it. I think Halloween 4, to an extent, has this aura about it. And Halloween H20 had like this just place in the fandom. I think Halloween 2018 will get there at some point. But I do think there's enough interest in the fandom to warrant putting this thing on big screens. And that's the rumor. We're not saying it's definitively happening, but apparently that's what was set to happen. I don't know how any of the strike stuff will affect them from releasing it. I can't see that getting in the way, but that's just me. I want to see this movie in theaters. They could say they're re-releasing Halloween Resurrection in theaters. I didn't get to see that in theaters either, and I'd go see it. But I could say I would be far more excited to see Halloween H20 in theaters than Resurrection. Just me, though. But anyways, Tommy mentioned he owns the movie. I just want to know what you guys think. So Zach and I were talking on Flixbusters the other day, and one of the things that came up was, what have we seen in theaters this year? And this is before he had seen Oppenheimer and Barbie. And we both were kind of like, yeah, the movies that we've seen this year that we like the most are movies that have been re-released. That's just kind of the year in cinema it's been, My favorite movie experience this year is Titanic, followed by Return of the Jedi. So, they're both re-releases. I don't think watching a movie at home is the same experience as watching the movie in a movie theater if the movie theater is, a well put together oiled machine. If you're going to some shit movie theater, I kind of get it. But I just honestly feel like there's something about going to the cinema and experiencing it there that is almost like you can't replicate that experience at home unless you had a shit ton of money. And even then, some would argue you still can't replicate that experience. So are you guys in on the whole re-releasing movies, which seems to be something studios are doing all the time? I can tell you right now, it sounds like the Phantom Menace is going back to the theaters next year, which I will be all over.
Again?
25 years, man. 25.
So what was the last time? 20 years, I guess?
3D would have been 10. Yeah.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
2009, I think.
No, because I saw it with the wife. She was not the wife at the time, but
well, maybe you're losing your years here, man.
No. I'm not that fucking old. I'm not that old. I was a high school freshman in 2009. I am not that old.
You're that old.
No.
So you seen it in 3D, right? Didn't they have the full pod race in that? I never did see it in 3D.
Oh my gosh. That's not 15 years, but this is my 10th year of being out of high school. Oh God. Oh no, I'm going into an existential crisis live on air.
Okay, so when if they release the Phantom Menace next year and Halloween H20 this year, which are both extremely likely to happen, it will have been 12 years since the Phantom Menace re-release. So yes, you're losing your years, man.
Shit. Oh shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, wow.
That's painful.
Max says his movie choice of the night is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're going to be kind of all over the place with this episode, guys. So, bear with us here. We have some trivia coming in just a bit. But, he says his movie choice of the night is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And if you're a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, there is a video game coming out very, very, very soon. Free for those that have Game Pass, by the way, Tommy, and hit nudge nudge. Same with you, Ryan. But it looks fucking fantastic. I've taken some time over the last couple of weeks because I really enjoyed the Friday the 13th game that they put out, although it was pretty bare bones. And then I've spent a lot of time looking at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. One, I'm glad I don't have to pay for it. And two, it, for something that's just included in your Game Pass, it looks like a ton of fun if the servers hold up. If the servers don't, your game's going to get real choppy. But if they do, it just looks wild. Like most people would chalk up, hey, it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, so the six of us are going to try to get away from Leatherface. But it's not just that. And Leatherface isn't the only villain, which stays true to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I dig that because it would have been so easy to just be like, hey, we're just doing something about, Leatherface. But instead it's like, no, we're gonna stay true to what's going on here. And that's great. I appreciate that. But guys, how do you feel about movies being re-released in theaters? I'm all for it. I don't think every movie deserves it. But I think when you get to, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, I'm okay with that. What about you guys?
I think it's all right. It's one of those deals where my concern is oversaturation. You guys are talking about Phantom Menace in 3D, and after the 3D craze came in and everything was in 3D, and then it just kind of became and I love the re-releases of movies that actually mean something to the cinematic universe. And not every movie does, but it has to tell a story. It has to mean something to a fandom and not just out there for a money grab. So when it's done eloquently and it's done for a film that people actually care about, I think it's a good decision. I also look at it from a perspective is people are kind of running out of ideas, and the easiest way to make a buck is to re-release something that's already been made. So I think it's two sides of a coin where they can make some money and share with people's nostalgia a little bit with films that they actually cared about in the past. So I'm definitely for it, as long as it's just not an oversaturation, which I'm getting concerned is it's starting to happen. Honestly, there's a lot of re-releases.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
I think
I'm all for movie re-releases, but we're in the day and age of streaming now, so oftentimes we can get some of these films for no extra cost. Going and seeing Star Wars in theaters, I mean, unless they're going to take the movie off of the streaming service for a month or two, right? It's kind of it's a big ask, I think, for some folks. Like we gotta have a little more incentive. 3D was nice when they did it. I know there were, rumors talking about Star Wars going 3D for a while, and then they were slow doing it. And then we know what happened. It just never finished. They got one movie publicly released, another that was released to a very small audience, and that was it. So it's It's unfortunate, but yeah, I feel like if you're doing a re-release, you need to make it an event, or you need to put some kind of incentive for fans. You gotta do something.
I am all for. I'm kind of with Ryan. There should be a release if it's something that meant something to the cinematic universe, and I'm scared that like right now that movies are just getting really re-released. Oh, because it's 10. Oh, because it's 20. Oh, because it's 25, and not because it was a cinematic masterpiece. But if you remember in Jay and Silent Bob's reboot, when they're in the when they're talking, God, what's his name? Jason Lee, and all they're talking is about all the studios want to do is reboot the reboot, and sequels are all this nonsense. I mean, a lot of it is, and that they're just out to make money. At the end of the day, it's a money making scheme, and we've lost sight of the cinematic masterpieces and the cinematic arts on some movies that they just want to re-release. But studios are going to do what they want to do.
I think whenever you have a chance to share, like for me, I've had opportunities to share moments with my oldest son on some re-releases that have happened, and I never would have had that opportunity if things were the way they used to be. And so I like them. I'm just not sure you should be paying normal movie ticket prices if the quality of the film hasn't been upgraded, the resolution hasn't been upgraded, if they haven't cleaned it up. But I believe more cases than not they do, at least up here they do. So yeah, I mean, if H2O is coming out later this year, which it seems to be a lot of smoke there, so I would suggest there's fire somewhere. I'm gonna go see it, and I'm probably gonna enjoy it. And like I got to tell you, the idea of seeing Phantom Menace in theaters and being able to see bring both of my boys to that, will be too young, but like that sends me over the moon. Like instantly, my most anticipated movie for 2024 is the Phantom Menace 25-year re-release. Like sign me up.
And I just from my own personal feelings on this, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I didn't appreciate Phantom Menace when it came out. I mean, it was okay, but there was so much. It got dragged through the mud so much immediately following the film's release. It kind of tainted my opinion of the film itself. I'm excited to see it again now as I'm a little bit older and actually watch it and try to understand what it actually is, the story it's trying to tell. So I think that's also a perk of a re-release, is that, you can go back and catch the meaning of the story in a different manner than what you did 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Lee the Machine Bauer says, sorry to be off topic, but what are y'all thoughts on the Exorcist Believer trailer? Man, I'm going to send it over to you first, man. What did you think about the trailer? And can you separate what you see in the trailer from what we already know about the film? Sorry. It's hard to get that out in a straight face.
What are all the best scenes in the trailer? Because it seems like that's about...
I mean, classic friggin' Blumhouse and Universal. I mean, classic most studios nowadays, right, and marketing companies. But like, no trailer is going to save this movie.
No trailer. Well, it does look like we're getting a lot more of Ellen Burstyn than I think we expected, and that's a good thing that they're bringing her back. I think that's about the only redeeming thing about the movie.
Matt obviously forgot what the Halloween Kills marketing was like.
I don't.
Well, you might remember there was a certain character featured heavily in that marketing that wasn't in very much of the movie.
Yeah.
I'll just say keep that in mind.
I know. Well, unless they had, that's pretty much every scene we see of her in the movie that was in the trailer. It felt like it was a really long trailer too. Wasn't it like close to 3 minutes?
Why do trailers?
It was a long trailer anymore? Yes. Yeah, I saw it watching Oppenheimer, and I was ready for it to be over after about 90 seconds. Like, they told the story. There's no reason to see the film if you saw the trailer.
Yeah, that's definitely what they did. They didn't leave anything to the imagination in that trailer, and I think that sucks.
I don't understand why so if you take away the stupid green screen at the beginning and the warnings and that, I don't understand how 90 to 100 seconds isn't enough to show people. Like, just that's all you need. You don't need 3 minutes. You don't need 3.5 minutes. You don't. You're ruining the film for yourself. Like, that's just not the way people do things anymore, though, right? They basically got to know what they're getting before they get it. It's why spoiler culture is a thing now. Anybody else have any thoughts on that, or didn't know if anybody else seen it?
Just a quick follow-up. It did do its job. It scared the living daylights out of my wife. She has no urge to see it in theaters or ever. So it did its job on that point. It got its point across.
Well, you guys save some money, so
you get long trailers when you don't want them, and then you get short trailers when you want something a little longer.
Lee followed that up with, I feel like Universal are the ones responsible for putting too much in their trailers.
I think I completely agree with Lee.
Yeah, it'd be hard to disagree.
I definitely won't go see. I definitely will not go see Exorcist in the theater.
Triple Glax says, I hope that Netflix Halloween series is a real thing. The only thing I have, and that we've been talking about on the channel, is that there was at least a pitch for some sort of series that sounded like it'd be streaming. Who knows if it goes anywhere? And David Gordon Green and company already spilt the beans on Akkad. Akkad was already was already working on his next project when Halloween Ends was coming out. Now working on a Halloween project in pre-production that can, it's very much still might be in its infancy. So, and as long as these strikes are going on, nothing's coming out anytime soon, which is another reason to probably re-release, Halloween H20. Just so happens to conveniently fall on the 25-year anniversary.
Yeah, in about 3 months, I think we're going to be having a real shortage of television and film, and we're going to be seeing a lot of re-releases for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, look at Yellowstone. Yellowstone, I forget what networks they went to, but they're going to go broadcast on TV. And, that's not the same as, signing a deal for, TV episodes that have never aired before. But, they're still getting, Taylor Sheridan and company are still getting a pretty penny for that.
CBS is where they're going. I think that's where I heard.
Is it?
I think.
Yeah, it is. They did the same thing for Star Trek Discovery last year. They took it off the paywall and put it on CBS.
Mr. Wayne Gotke says, even with its Dawson Creek's vibes, I will take beheaded Michael Myers and H2O over garbage compactor Myers. Ends gave us any day. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I thought we got this out of our system last week. I came on here. I talked Halloween Ends. I even said some nice things, and we're right back to Halloween Ends again.
Thanks, Wayne.
Scott Key doing his thing. Dean says it would be great if they could find a way to preserve physical, real prints better. They just chemically break down over time. I totally agree with that, and I think as time goes, new things get invented, and we'll have to wait and see what happens on that front. I wasn't sure if we were going to have one more for trivia or not. Still waiting, so we'll do a couple more of these and get into trivia. We'll do some trivia, and then we will end with some Oppenheimer thoughts and a Barbie review, as Tommy and Ryan had a chance to go see Barbie, which is definitely making news headlines at a lot of places over the last week or so. Dustin says, if they re-released Resurrection, I'd be like, come on. Well, I got to tell you, if they need some money in 2027, it'll probably happen. And just so we're clear, when I say release, as far as I know, a re-release, it's not going to be like this massively marketed thing it'd be more along the lines of even what Disney just did for the 20th year of Pirates, where there's a couple of bucks into the marketing and select cities have showtimes. I'm not saying it'd be super hard to get to, but it's not going to be like Star Wars in 1997. I'm not saying it's that, but we'll see. Any money coming in is probably good for them at this point, considering the strike that's going on. Triple Black says he thought the trailer looked awesome, fellas. All right, let's why don't we move from, actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some shameless self-promotion here for a second. If you haven't yet, click the like button, leave a comment down below, hit subscribe, slash that notification bell to keep up to date with all the content we have to come here in the near future. We've just launched a new show, Flixbusters, which we just recorded 2 episodes for. Pirates of the Caribbean 1 and Pirates of the Caribbean 2. You can find Pirates of the Caribbean 1 tomorrow on the channel, and then 8 days from now, Pirates of the Caribbean 2. Check that out. But one of the things we did was we did Movies on the Sea. That one's about 8 days away from airing, and we gave you guys $15 to spend on the only sea movies you'll see for the rest of your life. And this is what we selected. So if you haven't participated in that yet, you can check us out on Facebook, either at Fandom Empire Now or Flixbusters on Facebook, weekly show that you can catch here on the channel. And then our next live stream show is a couple weeks away for Flixbusters, and that's going to be Oppenheimer. So looking forward to diving into that. Without further ado, though, let's get to some trivia. Fellas, I asked you before we came on here if you could have pen and paper ready. Matt has a distinct advantage just because there's some wrestling questions on here. So if just have some fun with it. Have some fun with it if you don't know the answer. But here we go. And I don't know I have 7 of the questions loaded up for now. So we'll stick with 7. The chat can feel free to play along and do some trivia with us. And we'll go from there. First up, you only have 20 seconds to answer. What major horror movie franchise was Johnny Depp in? I think we need some music for this too. Why not get some music in here? What major horror movie franchise was Johnny Depp in? All right, let's go and see what everybody has here. First up, I'm going to go to Mr. Tommy B. Tommy B.
That's like that was a real quick ask. I went with okay, this isn't shown very well. Friday the 13th.
Hang on, we're lagging super bad. That is a guest appearance by the Colleague Nation podcast, which we will discuss more on next week's show, actually, believe it or not. But we're dealing with some StreamYards issues, so one moment, please. Let's remove that. Go back to here. And Tommy B. Okay, so you said Friday the 13th. Ryan, what did you have, man?
So don't laugh at me because I'm using a purple pen. Let's see if I can get that on the screen. Can you see it? Not sure. My background's killing me. I said Nightmare on Elm Street.
And Matt, what did you have, man? Let's see what you got on the paper. Nightmare on Elm Street, Glenn. That's correct. So we had Matt and Ryan taking the first set of points here tonight. But yeah. Let's continue on with it here. So we got Tommy B losing at trivia again. I've seen that. He's shaking his head at me now. Who eliminated CM Punk from his final Royal Rumble appearance in the WWE? That's wrestling, for those of you that don't know. 20 seconds. I don't think it was Michael Myers. Going out on a limb with that one. The chat is doing better than the contestants. I'll say that. All right. Ryan, what do you got?
So I think the easy answer would be John Cena because I know they feuded, but I'm going with Randy Orton.
Okay. Matt, what do you got? Daniel Bryan. All right. Tommy B. What do you
I
got?
guess Chuck E. Cheese or Grimace.
Chuck E. Cheese. Grimace is correct from a certain point of view. It was Kane. Nobody got the point. It was Kane. Cheating too. That cheating prick. Fucking mayor now. Typical. A mayor who cheats. Go figure. Kane was correct. Yes, Ken got it in the chat. But yeah, we'll keep it up here. Which horror movie was Ewan McGregor in the lead role for while being directed by Mike Flanagan? Which horror movie starred Ewan McGregor in the lead role directed by Mike Flanagan? You guys got 10 seconds. By the way, I fucking love this movie, and it's horribly underrated, and the marketing campaign for it sucked balls, and the director's cut is just 3 hours of just fucking downright awesome. And yeah, and I've talked about that director's cut on this channel ad nauseum. So
I've still got to see it.
Let's see what Tommy B had. What do you have, Tommy? Dr. Sleep. Ryan, what did you have? You're muted, sir.
Mute Monster catches me. I have no idea. No clue whatsoever. So I went with Star Wars Phantom Menace. Because that's how I remember that movie.
People consider that a horror movie?
That was a horror movie in my childhood.
I appreciate the hat, too. Mr. Matt Whitfield, what do you have? Dr. Sleep. Look at you just using entire pieces of paper for one word.
Yeah, I see that. Like, Matt, save some trees. Holy shit.
Fuck them trees.
Fuck them trees. The chat was very right. Dr. Sleep, Dr. Sleep, Dr. Sleep, Dr. Sleep, Dr. Sleep. Wow, the chat was on. The director's cut is amazing. And you know what? I'm going to announce it right here for the first time. We are going to do a full commentary of the Dr. Sleep director's cut right here on this channel. I don't know if it'll be able to be a live stream. Hopefully it will be. But if it can't be, things happen. But I'm hoping it'll be a live stream. It's something I definitely want to get done in the next couple months for sure. I honestly think if we're going to do that, you got to do The Shining first. So maybe not the whole day though. That's 5 hours. So that too. Sorry, things are lagging so bad it sucks. Which Friday the 13th movie featured Jared Padalecki? Those of you that don't know who Jared Padalecki is, he is Sam Winchester from Supernatural, or Walker from Walker.
What's Supernatural?
What is Supernatural? A show that you're too stubborn to give a chance to, so you miss out on real quality. But yeah, Gilmore Girls too. Yes, that's correct, Dustin, for sure. Tommy B, you're a Supernatural guy. What do you got? What's that say? Remake? Can't make. What's it say? Tell us.
Might help if I hold my mic, right? I didn't know what else to write, so I put remake/reboot.
Okay. Ryan, how about you?
I also had Friday the 13th reboot.
Mr. Whitfield? Yes, everybody gets a point. I believe Matt and Ryan are tied, I believe. I got that right? Let's recap here. Just doing this for fun. You both had Elm Street. None of you had Kane. You all had Dr. Sleep.
I did not. Nope,
Oh,
I was
didn't?
not. I was the only one that didn't get Dr. Sleep. I was clearly the only one that missed that boat.
Okay, so you're tied with Tommy. 1 point behind Matt. So Matt's the leader with 2 questions to go. Which Halloween movie had the worst worldwide box office result? Time is up. Let's see what everybody has. I'm going to start with Tommy B. What do you have? Which Halloween 5 movie had the
I
worst?
think I could have used autocorrect, but I guessed Resurrection.
All right, Tommy guesses Resurrection. Ryan, how about you? What do you got?
Just kind of guessing. I just went with ends.
And Mr. Matt Whitfield, what do you have? Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. The correct answer, which probably shouldn't shock anybody, is Halloween 5. It took a massive dump. Halloween 5 is the worst performing Halloween movie at the box office. What a shame. Alrighty here. Let's get on to the next question. Which horror movie was Ewan McGregor in the... Sorry, we already did that one. So do we already...
Ooh, I know that one now. Ooh,
Yeah,
let's go with that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I only had 6 and not 7, which would be a lame way to end this.
It's Dr. Sleep, 3-way tie. Boom.
You would like that, wouldn't you? It just doesn't let me blow up the picture over here. Oh, okay. Well, Ryan and Tommy B, I'm sorry, but the next question is who did Brett? And I don't have a screenshot. Actually, I do have a screenshot for it. Here we go. It's a wrestling question. Oh, we've already done that one too. It's just not working out for us time. So I'm just going to read it. Who did Bret Hitman Hart beat for his final WWF title run? As Ryan quickly Googles this.
Yes, I am. I have no clue. I'm Googling it because I'm curious.
Matt, do you know? I know who it is. I hope so, anyways. I asked the question. Big Cookie Woman. Oh, that's gold. That's gold. Time is up. Tommy B, what do you got?
Steve Austin, of course.
No, but that's a good guess. That's a good guess.
Okay, what about The Rock?
No.
Okay, I'm running out of wrestlers. So
Matt, who do you got?
I didn't write anybody down, but
Yeah.
my first, Sean.
No. Ryan, for the
Oh.
tie, the fake tie.
Oh, I'm going with Lex Luger.
Oh my God, you even had a chance to cheat and you still blew it.
Damn it.
God damn.
The answer we were looking for was The Undertaker. The Undertaker was the final person he beat for his
damn.
last WWE World WWF World Championship. which he would later then get screwed out of in Montreal, Canada.
That's what saw.
Psycho Sid though, no, he did. He lost the title to Psycho Sid one time, like one day after he won it at a pay-per-view because Steve Austin hit him in the back of the head with a steel chair. So that was fun. That was fun too. Anyways, that is going to do it for the trivia for tonight. Let's turn things over to Tommy B and Ryan here for a second. Well, they quickly give us a little 5-minute breakdown review of Barbie and whether you should spend your money to go see it or not. Ryan, let's start with you, man. What did you think of Barbie starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling? It's at the very least capturing headlines.
It is capturing headlines, and I understand why. I mean, just get it out of the way. The movie was very female empowering, to say the least. So, it covered a lot of, stereotypes, for females, young and old, the original generation, the current generation. But they also covered a lot of ground for generalizations about men as well, regarding emotions and what can be shared and what's allowed and what's not. So when you look at the spectrum in today's climate, I can totally see why it's grabbing headlines, good and bad. But I enjoyed the film tremendously. I thought it was a very enjoyable, quirky couple hours. I thought it took a while it did take a while to get into the story. The first hour or so was definitely, as I said, kind of very just young girls really sharing their story and what it means. But once they got into it and they kind of started jotting back and forth between the real world and Barbie world, the story actually took on a very fun dynamic and a lot of good characters. And we had Will Ferrell. He played the executive of Martell. It was awesome that they took the opportunity to poke fun at themselves. They didn't take it too seriously, and I really appreciated that and respected that. So, it was a very aesthetically pleasing film. Obviously, a lot of bright colors, pink being the main color, but just the way the story was told, the way they built their sets, the way the acting was portrayed. There was a lot of cameos. I really enjoyed it. I had no qualms about it, and I would see it again. I really would. I really thought the film was fantastic.
Well, that is a glowing review. For some reason, I thought you felt the opposite about it, but good to know you enjoyed it. Tommy B, do you agree with Ryan, or are you about to blast him into a million pieces?
I absolutely agree with Ryan. So I didn't know all that much about this movie, leading up to release day. But, we're looking at like Wednesday, Thursday. Social media is blowing up. And I'm like, oh, well, that sounds pretty interesting. Maybe we'll catch that later. Well, the in-laws were down for the weekend. And, why don't we go see this movie? Sure. I'm down for a trip to the movies. Go get breakfast, go to the theater. So that's what we did. We did miss the first little chunk of it. We were a few minutes off for our showtime. We thought we bought a slightly later showtime. We did not. But we still saw 95% of the film easily. We still saw the whole plot and so on and so forth. We got some great actors in this film. We've got some good issues being discussed, as Ryan mentioned. The only criticism I can make about this film is there were a few parts, and this is nothing political, nothing issue-based, completely plot-based. There's a couple parts in the film where it goes, oh, that's a little silly. But also, we're talking about a movie, about a franchise of dolls, going between the Barbie world and the real world. So what can you expect, right? Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. It absolutely deserves the hype it is getting right now. It deserves those good box office numbers it got, last I heard anyway. So I definitely recommend folks go check this out if they're all at all curious. And yeah, again, if you got a chance, just you're looking for time to kill a couple hours, maybe go to the theater, maybe watch it from home when that happens. Do it. Give it a chance. I think you'll be pleased after the fact.
Yeah, and
that's all I gotta say.
Well, it did $163 million, which was the highest grossing film of 2023 to this point for an opening weekend. So they did quite well.
That's what I thought. I know it like swung Oppenheimer out of the park.
Yeah, but there's one scene, and this is when Barbie, Margot Robbie, enters the real world for the first time. She sits at a bus stop, and there's this old lady, probably in her 90s. And she just turns to this old lady, looks at her, and says, "You're beautiful." And in that moment, like, it had me in my feels. Like, I was like, "Oh man, this is a movie that really, kind of deep dives into the psyche of our human state and kind of where we are as a society, and really tried to bring a positive light and put a spin on things that, frankly, I think we really needed." So I really appreciated that, and I think it will continue to do well going forward, and for sure, I think they took a good cue out of the Marvel storytelling cinematic universe. I don't know if we'll get a Barbie 2, a Barbie 3 in the future, but they followed a similar path, and I think they told a great story.
And there are plenty of Marvel, DC actors in this film, so that made it a little more interesting too.
Oh yeah, Simu Liu was a great ad.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like I said, I was not following this closely. I didn't know the cast. I know Margot Robbie, of course, but so that was surprising. But we just can't forget this film. It deals with very serious things, very serious issues. It has more than its fair share of comedy. We just can't get away from that. You will laugh.
Well, there you
wholeheartedly agreed. For adults, I mean, it was not a child movie. It was humorous for adults.
A Barbie review from Tommi and Ryan. I might have to cut that out and put it up as its own video too. So there you have it. Go out, see it. It's doing well. But that's going to do it for this show. Halloween H20. Looks like it's coming back to theaters. Looking forward to that. Definitely, let's hope it happens. I'm more excited at the idea of the Phantom Menace. I can't get over that. I'm just kind of stuck on wanting to see the Phantom Menace in theaters again. So why the hell not? For Mr. Matt Whitfield and Ryan and Tommy B, I'm Sean. Please take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, slash that notification bell. We have a cool announcement coming your way in the next week. So be on the lookout for that. And lots to come still. Don't forget to check out Flixbusters tomorrow. Pirates of the Caribbean. Great movie. We'll see you next time.